Anthology presents Across the Sea by Gabriel Urbina, based on Los Buques Suicidantes by Horacio Quiroga. Performances by Emma Sherr-Ziarko, Felipe Bonilla, and Jaime Maseda. Directed by Gabriel Urbina. Boy, it's really coming down, isn't it? You hear that? That's the glass in the windows rattling, the wind so bad. And that lightning can't be more than 3 or 4 miles off. I haven't seen it this bad in years. I think you came in right on time. You don't want to be out in that soup on a night like this. Me? I'm a reporter. Well, I was a reporter, It's all behind me, more or less. Nowadays, I mostly just hang around here, keep the boys company. Have you met the boys? They're around here somewhere. Hey! Boys! You there? They're a bit shy. Takes them a while to warm up to strangers. Hey! We got company! Well, they must be busy with something downstairs. You'll meet them later. Sit down, please. It's gonna take a bit for you to dry off, and that storm's not going anywhere for a while. As I was saying, I used to work as a reporter. I never had much of a head for numbers, but I could put one word in front of another. And I could get other people talking, too. I was ruthless. Work like that, you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You gotta smell trouble everywhere you go, and you gotta stir it up where there isn't any to find. And I was good at it, too. Time was, you couldn't get into hot water without me being there to tell the folks at home about it. The Wall Street crash, Peg Entwistle and the Hollywood Age, Wally and Windsor's Ring Around the Rosie, Sam Seabury's Boy Scout troop, Mahatma's Puna Pact. I was there for all of those parties. Thing is, you spend 2 years, 4 years, 6 years going around with a rusty typewriter in your handbag, 3 cocktail dresses in your suitcase, and your paycheck's always one post office behind you. You take the Trans-Europe Express, and the Orient Express, and the Trans-Siberian Express, and the just get-out-of-town Express enough times, it starts to feel like you're running out of railroad track. Suddenly the world's not as big as it was before your passport got stamps from every continent. You kind of wonder if you're just done being surprised. If you're ever going to find something that you've never seen before. I found something, all right. It was raining that night, too. Let me tell you about it. I'd ended up in Hong Kong in 1935. I was covering a difference of opinion between the police force and the local labor union. It was good, dirty work, but I could feel something bad was on the way. Everyone was starting to look at foreigners with a funny twitch in their eye, so I figured it was time for one of my trademark abrupt departures. And that's how I ended up wandering through the docks at dusk, asking about any ships that were taking on passengers. And that's how I met
Capitán Ernesto González, a la orden. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Me llamo Jacqueline Chappelle. But please, call me Jackie. The Capitan was in charge of an Argentine cargo ship that had been making the rounds through every seaport in Southeast Asia, ferrying goods back and forth.
Now we are getting ready to make the return trip to South American waters. Right now, my crew is loading up a shipment of spices that we'll be delivering to Ushuaia, and then we'll be continuing up the coast to Buenos Aires. We set sail at 10 o'clock tonight, and we might be able to offer you a cabin on board our humble ship. You get comfortable accommodations and excellent food.
I didn't say. You mean I'll be stuck in a tiny cupboard 3 floors below decks, starving my way through on moldy bread?
Best of all, though, you get a peaceful cruise. We like easy, restful journey. We value our... what is the word I am looking for?
Privacy, Capitan.
That one. Yes. Better to sail with, discretion. Less neighbors, less questions. You understand?
I think I do.
Excelente. There is, of course, this small matter of compensation, no? First Officer Garcia, what do you think?
Well, we'll need to account for the various increased costs to the expedition. Food rations, use of the facilities, the various amenities that are on board the Maria Margarita, the extra work for the crew. Say about 82 pesos per day on a 65-day journey comes out to a total of 5,330 pesos.
But since we are among friends, by all means, let's call it 5,000 even. Sounds fair, no?
For that much, I could buy my own cruise ship. I didn't say that either. Instead, I just said, that sounds perfect. What time should I be at the docks? Gonzalez and his crew were a bunch of slimy cheapskates who'd do anything to make money. Naturally, I liked them from the start. I knew they were chiseling me with that fare, but I didn't care. If I waited much longer, I probably wouldn't get to leave Hong Kong at all. And they weren't asking why I was in such a hurry to raise anchors, and that was worth its weight in gold. I guess they didn't want me asking questions either. I don't know what Gonzalez's crew was loading onto his ship, but it sure wasn't spices. They wouldn't be setting sail in the middle of the night if it was, and they wouldn't be stopping over at a middle-of-nowhere rock like Ushuaia either. No, whatever was going into that hold was already burning a hole through the Capitan's hull, and we hadn't even set sail yet. Not that I had a problem with any of that. The Capitan wanted discretion? That worked just fine on my end. There was, however,
one more thing, Miss
thing.
Chapelle. Make sure you bring warm clothes.
At first, I thought he was kidding. November in the South Pacific? The suffocating humid season was just going into full swing. But as it turns out, we'd only get about a week of that weather. The way First Mate Garcia put it.
Well, there's many ways to get from Hong Kong to Argentina. You can try to cut your way through the Estrecho de Magallanes or weave in and out through the Tierra del Fuego archipelagos if you're in a hurry. But if you're trying to avoid seeing any other ships, if you want to slip by, you go south. You ride along the edge of the polar circle. The ocean there, well, it can be a little rough.
He's putting it gently. Sailing through those waters is like navigating through something out of the devil's nightmares.
There's enormous sheets of ice that drift along the waters, crashing into gigantic icebergs. You can never tell how big something is underneath the surface, so you can't take any chances.
But that's not the bad part.
Then there's the fire. Volcanic vents run all along the ocean floor. Hot geysers and rocky debris are constantly shooting up from the waters.
But even that's not the bad part.
The problem, the real problem, is that you can't see anything because garbage is constantly falling from the sky. On any given day, you can shovel snow in the morning, then volcanic ash in the afternoon, and by nighttime, you can't even tell the difference anymore. And all the while you're trying to find your way through a landscape where everything is either frozen or on fire.
That's the bad part. No one in their right mind goes there.
Unless you're trying to avoid running into any other ships. If you want to slip by, it's the one place no one is looking. You just need to make sure you have a damn good navigator.
Unfortunately, we only had a good navigator. It must have been a little after 2 in the morning when the ship hit the iceberg.
¡Muévanse! ¡Rápido!
No hay tiempo, déjenlo.
¡A los botes salvavidas!
¿Dónde está el capitán?
¡Apúrense! ¡No se puede quedar bajo cubiertas!
Vamos, pelotudos, esto va en serio.
¡Pero qué demonios!
¡Muévete rápido,
¡Vamos!
muévete!
There were 6 of us left after the Maria Margarita sank. Contrary to popular opinion, the captain doesn't always go down with the ship. Capitan Gonzalez was the first one on the lifeboat. First Mate Garcia made it too. Then there was the ship's steward, a tall glass of water called Sabato. There were 2 deckhands, Martinez and Castro. Neither one of them could have been a day over 17. They'd been at the bow of the ship when we hit the iceberg. Garcia pulled them out of the water, and they spent all night shaking like frightened rabbits. And there was me. 6 of us, floating adrift in the Antarctic Ocean. No supplies to speak of, no port less than a week's journey away, and 100 nautical miles between us and the nearest shipping lane. And nothing to do but wait to see whether it would be the hunger, or the cold, or the fire, or the ocean that would kill us first. We made it through the rest of the first night mostly on shock, and starved our way through the following day. But then, right after the sunset, we ran into trouble.
Listen, I don't like the look of those clouds on the horizon.
What clouds? It's too dark to see clouds. It's too dark to see anything.
Listen to me. Those were anvil clouds. There is a storm coming, and it's probably going to get here soon.
We have a lifeboat and 3 oars, Garcia. All we can do is wait and hope that somebody finds us.
But nobody's going to find us. You wanted discretion, remember? I honestly don't know whether I said that one out loud or not.
Well, we can't just sit here. We need to...
Garcia? Are you all right?
What's the matter? There's a boat right there.
¿Qué?
What? Where?
How can you see anything? You're going loco.
I am not going loco. In the flash, from the lightning, I saw the outline of a ship. Couldn't have been more than a mile away. It was... There! Look! It's right there! Did you see it?
Oh, we saw it. Gliding silently through the ice. I don't think any of us believed our eyes at first, but then there was another lightning bolt, and another, and another, and finally none of us could deny that there really was another ship with us sailing through these hellish waters.
Why would anyone else be in this place?
And why would they be sailing without any lights on?
Smugglers? Or pirates, maybe? They could be hiding from a patrol.
No one would go dark in these waters. No one is that loco. There's no one on that ship. That's a ghost.
There are few things that are more dangerous than running into an unmanned vessel at sea. In the daytime, the danger is smaller, but at night, they're deadly. These ghosts, abandoned for this or that reason, just keep sailing for as long as they can stay afloat, going wherever the currents take them or the winds blow them. Every now and then, unlucky sailors run afoul of them. In the daytime, you can at least try to keep your distance, but at night they fly through the waters without a single light to alert anyone of their presence. They're impossible to spot, until they're right on top of you. That's how dead ships often end up dragging living ones to a watery grave. Every sailor worth his salt dreads running into one of these terrors. Unless, of course, they are lost at sea in a frozen wasteland of an ocean. In that situation, ghost ship might just be your last shot at salvation.
Adelante! Fuerte! Ya casi llegamos! Vamos!
It took the better part of an hour to row the lifeboat all the way to the ship. We made the journey through the darkness, stumbling blind. Every minute I feared that we would lose the ship and it would disappear just as easily as it had emerged from the depths. But every time that I started to lose hope, there'd be another lightning flash, and I'd see it looming closer and closer, almost as if it was waiting for us. Garcia's storm was starting by the time we finally reached the abandoned ship.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Why? What's wrong?
When's the last time you saw a boat